it wouldn't work.
But I could always open this and then watch it through here.
But I don't. Oh, it's working.
All right. We are live. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. We are here at the Bilderberg Hotel in Chantilly, Virginia at the Westfield Marriott. Tim got to come down after we just did a video on his channel about the Bilderberg Group. And you know, Tim, this oddly very little populated hotel room with security guards who sit next to us at dinner and tell us how they know everything about us. Nothing's happening here, right, Tim?
Oh, come on. Event. Like, you know, here's the thing. When it comes to security and event, the only reason we know they're doing security on us is because there's no one here and they talk to us. Yeah. But go to, you know, any other high-profile event. You know, you go to NATO or G20 or whatever, they've probably got a picture of you on the wall, and they're like, this guy's going to be here soon, just so you know, right?
Sorry, I had to bust Tim's chops just a little bit.
No, you need to tell people that this is a 360 video, and they have to move the camera around. Luke is not going to move the camera for them.
Yeah. So right now we are in the entrance of the Westfield Marriott. We just talked to security. They won't let us film inside, so we are outside, and you're watching a 360 live video during a thunderstorm and doing an AMA at the same time at the end of this video. But mostly this video is about tech review. So I wanted to talk to Tim, and we're utilizing all the latest technology that we can. And that's why we're live in 360, which means you're watching us simultaneously as this video is happening right now. And if you click on the video, you could actually move it around and see our entire 360 surroundings. So I definitely recommend playing around with that. If you have VR goggles, as you can see Tim walking around me, keep following him. Just click on the screen and move it around. If you have VR goggles, you could actually connect VR goggles to YouTube Live and watch us live as if you were here with us right now. And to kind of utilize this new technology, we wanted to do kind of a tech review. Me and Tim have been doing independent media for a very long time. Me and Tim have traveled all over the world. He's been in Venezuela. He's been in Greece. We've been in Fukushima together. that was a little scary, but we've been all over the world covering very important stories, and we've kind of have emerged with a lot of other people out there as the new media, as the alternative kind of independent media, doing real reporting for you on the ground, which is unedited, unbiased, and is just there for you to decide what the truth actually is with major world events that happen everywhere. Tim's been a major part of this kind of revolution that's been kind of taking place, and we get asked a lot of times, what gear, what equipment are you using to actually do your job? So in this video, I really just wanted to talk to Tim and kind of give him the kind of chance and opportunity to answer a lot of the people who always have this question: what gear do you use and what do you find most important in your job? The gimbal.
GoPro. So here's the thing. This is a GoPro gimbal, right? It's a camera grip. I've used a bunch of gimbals. I've used the Osmo. I've got this other company. I don't even remember the name of it, and they're okay. But the camera grip, it's seriously impressive. It's quiet.
That's a major thunderstorm happening right now. It couldn't get more creepier than it could at Bilderberg.
Here's the thing too, and so if you're watching, you got to look over at me when I'm doing. You can easily just pull this GoPro out. The GoPro, the camera grip actually is like a battery, but oftentimes I've got the GoPro 4. I've also got a GoPro 5, which is waterproof. I'll just set this down, and look at this. This is amazing. The GoPro. I mean, look, GoPro's been around forever. We all know about it, but it's really good for interviews. The GoPro 4 is my favorite. Really great audio, and I can put it on top of something and just do an interview. In fact, I did an interview with Luke the other day where I literally just held the GoPro right up at his face and then turned it and then turned it back, and it looks amazing.
Yeah. Now, when I go to Best Buy and other stores, I always see a lot of GoPro Hero 5s at the discount aisle and at the refurbished aisle. There's a big difference between the GoPro 4 and 5. Would you mind telling us about that?
So they may have fixed it. I'm not 100% sure, but I got the GoPro 5, you know, maybe a month ago, and the audio. There's a little clip on the side of the GoPro that when you take it off, you get access to the USB. And as soon as you do, the audio just, you can't hear anything. And so I actually was doing an experiment with it, and people started complaining. It's really obvious the audio is bad. But when you use the GoPro 5 with the case on and you just use it straight out of the box, it's actually really good. The audio is really, really good. It's just the issue is, I like to put my GoPro in the gimbal, and that means you've got to remove the flap, which kills the audio, which means I can't use the GoPro 5 and the gimbal together, in which case the GoPro 4 is my go-to.
I'm looking up online how to read your comments because we're doing this through an app. So you just use the gimbal and you get those kind of smooth shots. Tim's going to be helping me trying to
Is
find.
this the live stream right here?
Well, no, it's not. That's not the live stream. We're actually going in my phone and trying to
Just
find.
go to YouTube, type it in or on YouTube.com.
Yeah. All right. That's
So
exactly
you do
what I'm
that,
gonna
and
do.
I'll talk about stuff.
There
Right?
you go.
So give me this. You figure that out.
All right. But you
So-
gotta talk loud.
Okay, so check it out. A lot of people have asked me how do what equipment do I use, and I think the thing is most people assume that there's some big secret to doing journalism, and the fact is, right now this live stream is just on Luke's iPhone. He's got a special 360 camera, but in all seriousness, when I go out and do live streams, it's just this. It really is. It's always been my iPhone. It probably will be, at least for a little while. And then I got the GoPro Karma Grip because I started doing YouTube every day. So before that, when I would do Twitter, when I would do live streams, it's just an iPhone. And then I got an Android as a backup. Now I've got some drones, I've got some other stuff I'll show you in just a second as soon as Luke figures out what the hell he's doing. You figured it out?
Yeah, we're creating an echo chamber of the live feed, so
got
I
it?
could actually
All right,
read your comments right now.
Now
And Tim's definitely right, because when we're doing our work, the most innovative, one of the best things that we have ever been gifted with is the amazing technology within our very own fingertips and utilizing it to the very best ability that we can. And that's how Tim kind of started his career.
Stand aside.
Tim, no, but Occupy Wall Street, I remember back in the day, we were at Occupy Wall Street and the eviction was happening.
Yeah.
I was on the inside where the police have blocked off the entire area, shooting with my DSLR. They turned off all cell phone signals, so I couldn't use my cell phone. My cell
That's a
phone.
conspiracy theory.
That
The
is.
phones just weren't working.
Well, it was a very congested area too, which could be a
Yeah.
probable reason why this was happening. But the NYPD did have a lot of strange technology all around Occupy Wall Street, but that's a whole separate issue. But I was there with my DSLR, and I didn't have a portable battery at the time. Cell phone technology was still emerging. Tim was on the outside using Ustream, and with Ustream, he was able to capture everything happening and gain, what was it, 1 million people, 2 million? How many people were watching live? Just your thing?
Honestly, it depends on what metrics you want to use. I've been told that because it was picked up by international television outlets, that it reached over 200 million people around the world. And, you know, if I use just the actual Ustream metrics, it was like 1.3 million. Then when you use the greater syndicated metrics, because it appeared on like Time.com and Vice, it was something like 7 million. And then a live analytics company at a conference, not even with me, said that it was, I know for a fact it was picked up internationally on TV. They claim it was like over 200 million people watched this. And that may be true. I don't like to, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, I got all these views. But the reason why I do want to at least kind of boast about the number so much is because the mainstream media was unable to get any coverage, and I was just some dude who showed up with a phone and was able to reach the entire world as Occupy Wall Street was being shut down.
Yeah, and it was really the media's kind of non-attention, them ignoring Occupy Wall Street, that allowed a lot of independent people like myself and yourself to go out there and to actually shoot the videos that were actually happening and gain people's attention because people actually cared about those issues. We were also using a cell phone light to light this area properly. So you also use drones. Like if you look at Tim's video, he utilizes a lot of professional photography tools that sometimes I don't have the time or patience to even go after or use because it's a lot of post-production. I do. I have a crappy old DJI fancy one. You do a lot of post-production. A lot of times I'm so busy on the road I don't really have the time to do that. But you use drones as well.
So this is the DJI Mavic. It's like it's a little bit bigger than my hand. This is one of the most amazing drones. So little known fact, is that I'm one of, as far as I know, my friend Jeff, we were the first people to do a live news broadcast via drone. So during Occupy Wall Street, we hacked a drone to broadcast live. And I actually worked with the FAA Drone Coalition to set up the first ever federal drone test site. So I've been working with drones for a long time, and this is the Mavic. It's one of the latest, consumer grade. It's just wow. Look how small it is. It fits right in my backpack. This is amazing. But it's not even the craziest. Like, I'm gonna get something else here.
Hold this bad boy.
You want to hold
Wait,
it?
let me just see it really quick.
Just be careful, man.
Because yeah. That's all right. You got insurance.
What are you talking about? Yeah, it's called, you buy me a new one if you break it.
I actually remember when drones first came out, and I was fascinated with it, and I bought the original DJI Phantom, which is pretty much a dinosaur compared to this thing. And now we have this, and then what do you have there?
This is the Dobby, Zerotech Dobby. It's not very good, right? The camera is really shaky. Its range is only 300 feet. Now the range on the Mavic is 3 miles. This is 300 feet. There's no gimbal. I just click the little camera down. There's the camera right in front. But this thing is so small that it falls under no regulation. I can fly it wherever I want. That's really the point.
And there's been like a new FAA ruling that they can't even regulate drones anymore.
Well, I'm not 100% on the specifics, but at least what I've been told by some of my drone buddies is that they lost a fight in the Supreme Court. The FAA never had the jurisdiction over drones because drones operate under, if a drone operates over 400 feet, then they can say, hey, get out of our airspace. But under that, that's FAA only controls it 400 and above.
Yeah.
There are certain areas where they do control the airspace at ground level, like airports, for example. But they tried regulating all drones around the world, like around the country, regardless. And apparently they just lost that fight, which means for the most part we can just fly our drones now.
Yeah. One of the main reasons why I stopped becoming a quote hobbyist in drone kind of filming was mainly because when it first came out, the FAA was very kind of strict, and they actually fined and persecuted people for posting video clips on YouTube of them flying drones, which they considered dangerous and citizens, and they talked about a new permitting system and a new law system, and I just didn't want to deal with any of that. But when we're doing also international travel, it's great for a lot of B-roll, but also very difficult to do during live action. And as you know, and as you've been watching my channel and Tim's channel, there's a lot of live crazy action that we document and we're in, and drones are not really the best thing when you're trying to watch out for big rocks falling on your head.
So one of the things we learned right away during Occupy was we had this drone, and you're going to realize that you can't launch a drone at a news event. But people tried, and it created a lot of problems. Someone flew a Phantom during a building fire in New York, and the police and the fire department they were freaking out. You're flying a drone like we're spraying a fire down. Are you crazy? They were flying it right up in there. These people are nuts.
Well, yeah, there's also a lot of people who use it, and it could seriously hurt a lot of people. And now we're going to be talking about 360s. 360s, which I think are fascinating and amazing. If you have even the Samsung VR goggles, which are very affordable out there. Google even has paper 3D goggles as well. And these kind of new cameras that are coming out, like the one that you're seeing this video on, have really changed the way we interact, and I really see a big future for this, especially with augmented reality, especially with virtual reality, and being able to share experiences with you as if you were there. I mean, the future is coming. It's kind of scary. It's a double-edged sword, but it's also fascinating to see technology advance in such a frequent way, where now you could put on goggles and act like you're here when we're live in the exact moment.
This is actually kind of old at this point. It's over a year old now, but it's these two lights indicate that both cameras are on. And this is a 360 video camera. It's great. It's a 4K 360 camera. I've used it for a bunch of the videos I do on my channel. One of the things I try to do, and I haven't done it recently, I think the last one I did may have been the World Series, is I try to capture historical moments in 360. So the quality's not super great, but you can go to the DNC when Hillary Clinton got the nomination. You can go to the Cubs winning the World Series. You can go to the Dakota Access Pipeline when the protesters declared their victory. And it's in 360, so you can put on a VR headset and just look around like you're standing there.
And relive those moments.
Not right. The quality's bad, but what I really hope is that 100, 200 years, there's going to be some kid in school, and the teacher's going to be like, let's pull up the archive, and they're going to say, this video was shot by, now long dead journalist Tim Pool, but you can actually go watch the Cubs win the World Series.
Go put on your virtual reality glasses and relive that moment. Because when you are in those moments, like very historic moments that we've been in, whether it's elections or the Grexit or so many other different moments that we're there capturing for you, the moment is very surreal. The moment is very intense, and you can kind of feel the energy. And the closest thing to kind of reliving it is this kind of new 360 technology. And what we're doing and what we're shooting our video on, this 360 video, which you can interact with and play around and move around and be here with us live, is a mini version of kind of the Samsung 360 camera that Tim was just demonstrating. And the Samsung 360 was one of the first kind of portable cameras out there that came out that gave people that virtual reality experience.
That was good.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. Everyone's racing to this, and the Samsung Gear was one of the best ones that came out. And now there's better ones. Now there's actually dual lens, right? So there's a thing in VR called monoscopic and stereoscopic. Monoscopic means single eye, and stereo means two eyes. So we see in stereoscopic vision with two eyes, and that means you can see depth. So now they have cameras that are coming out that are 360 with two lenses, and then two lenses in the back. When you put on your headset, you actually can see you can see depth.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I think one of the most incredible, most important things is definitely the freaking cell phone.
Galaxy S8.
Just the advancement of it. Yeah, I mean, this phone just came out. What are some of the features of this phone that made you want to get it?
Nothing. No, for real. It's got some stupid thing where it's what is it, Bixby? It basically, you can point the camera at something and it'll tell you what it is. That's kind of cool. And it's got an auto translate feature. But in reality,
well, it will look it up for you. What do you mean?
Yeah, you supposedly, it hasn't worked for me, but supposedly, if you take it and you point it at, say, a monument, it will go, and a little thing will pop up and say, that's Mount Rushmore. And then you can point it at a different language, and it'll go boop, and then it'll translate that language to English or whatever your language is.
Like facial recognition, but for monuments, like the facial recognition that
call it video recognition.
Was used here against us to be known who we are.
But the reality is, the Galaxy S8, it's like the smoothest form factor for any of the Galaxy phones that I've ever used.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
I know, it's so great. It's just a regular phone. There's no more bezel, I guess they call it. There's no top or bottom. The home button is actually part of the screen now. None of it matters. It's no better than the past 3 Galaxy phones, other than the specs got an upgrade, the camera got a little upgrade. But for the most part, it's probably the sleekest. You want to know why I bought it?
Why?
There's only one reason I bought it.
Why?
I don't always upgrade every single Android, but I try every other Android once a year, simply because phones get old, phones break, gotta have a backup. And in this instance, I had to get a second phone line because if my live stream cuts out, I need another company.
Mm-hmm.
So I was using the Galaxy S7 and almost never use it because it's literally just a backup. And then because I had to upgrade for a new phone line, I simply got the Galaxy S8. And honestly, I don't think it's any better than the past phones. It really means nothing to me.
To me, especially in low light situations, the iPhone and the video codecs on the iPhone
way better.
Are still a lot better than any Samsung or Android device that I have ever seen on the market. I mean, I got the Samsung Galaxy S7. I wasn't that happy with it. It's my backup third phone. We're shooting this video on my iPhone 6S. With a wired microphone, because on the iPhone 7, which you're watching here, you can't do that. You only have a port that does one thing. And if you want to listen to audio or have a microphone on this thing and charge it at the same time, or even now use a 360 camera, you can't, which is so freaking frustrating because it totally...
garbage phone 7.
All my videos that I shoot now with my iPhone, when they're one shot, one takes, all of them are shot with the 6S, not the 7. Even though the 7 has better video quality, even though the 7 has better audio, I can't put in a microphone in there like we're doing now.
You should get a GoPro.
But then we can't do live and we can't do 360 unless I'm using the 6S, which
I have a phone and a GoPro.
Yeah,
it's not one or the other.
But can you go 360 live right now with the GoPro? No, you can't.
Why would I use the GoPro? I got my phone right here. I got my 360 camera in my car.
But now if you want to put in the microphone and have better